Welcome back. You're still watching the Daily Debate, and I am honored to be having with me over the phone Dr. Jihan Zahran, the Innovation and the Educational Consultant. Thank you very much for being with us tonight on the Daily Debate.
Thank you for you. Pleasure is mine.
Anytime. The pleasure is all mine. Of course, we have seen the directives made by the political leadership under the tenure of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi for the past decade or more, for the past 11 years, to be improving the process and the experience of the education and the higher education here in Egypt. How would you assess the whole experiment over the past decade?
Actually, I'm always happy if I hear something nice related to education progress in Egypt. All right, and especially if it is in a global partnership.
Yes.
Which is already, as you know, it's enhanced the performance of educators and lately for the outcome of the students as well. So that's always impressed me if something that really happening as an international standards related to K-12 or higher education as well.
Yes, we will be seeing modern teaching techniques in the education and the higher education processes for the near future. How do you think this will be serving the job market, the labor market after graduation?
So I believe if any global partnership, especially with Cambridge, that is already happening right now in Cairo, this will enhance the standards, because when you have a partnership, you have already as a sequence to follow the global standards of educators and teaching techniques and the curricula as well. And that definitely will affect the outcome of the students' behavior and performance. So definitely it will affect. Maybe in the long-term run after that, we will see the grad students after they already implemented the situation itself. So definitely it has a great impact once it will be implemented in the right way.
Yes, but we need to be competing globally as well in terms of the higher education and the Egyptian universities. What is missing for us to be competing globally, and more specifically in research and development?
All right, as you know, this is, we cannot have an international curricula without research skills improved in the teaching techniques as well. So we have to get the follow of the recent teaching techniques, which is focusing on the research skills first, and let the educators having the good training just to cope with the research skills aligned with the international standards as well. Because this cannot be apart together. If you're going to start with the global, international skills, so you have aligned with the teaching techniques with educators as well. So I have no idea, or I don't know details about the professional development plan of aligned, and that will be aligned with the international partnership as well. But definitely it will be there once there is an international standards aligned with the curriculum.
Yes, and we will be needing to be building the capacity of the teachers and the educational leaders here in Egypt for the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Higher Education. How do you think this will be done?
Actually, the bridge was supposed to be smooth between the K-12 and higher education. There should be a link between schools and universities as well. They are not apart from each other.
Yes.
Okay, so the align and all the time cooperation and the teamwork will happen with the schools that will outcome the students to come to the higher education. This is the key point that ministers actually focus on right now, which is already enhancing both of them together, because if I'm not going to get the right skills from the K-12 or the high school students, it will not be going on the same skills at the university, and it will be having the challenges as well. So both of them have to get the same standards to what we say to submit, the students as well to each other. So aligning together with the plan, this is the key for the success of the plan itself for professional development as well.
Yes, and this link between the schools and the universities, who's responsible for this? who is responsible from the Ministry of Education, to be linking with the Ministry of Higher Education and even afterwards with the job market, the labor market here in the country, to be serving the whole operation?
First of all, is the policy that the minister should do, okay, for integration between the K-12 and higher education. This is supposed to be a policy by default, regardless what's supposed to be done, both of them. So he should make a policy that makes link between their plan together. They are having and submit plans together. So he should have a policy, general policy, which is really very, 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 very restricted, that this, the outcome of the plan here should align with the plan there, okay?
Yes.
It cannot be aligned together, because if we leave it as people are individual work or their passion individually, nothing's going to happen. But if you make it as a policy, that this should be aligned to that, as all the international curricula doing this. For example, if you have Cambridge, so there is an IG international curricula, and all of the standards are aligned together. But if it is make it as a policy, this should be aligned to that. And there is a rubrics, KPIs, that the K-12 should make it before the students can grad from the high school. This will align easily and smoothly. And that's my point of view, actually.
Yes, so what are the other challenges, in your opinion, that are lying ahead of the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Higher Education?
The main challenge is actually, for the educators, we have to have a very good plan for professional development.
Yes.
If you got the professional development and raise the enhance of level for educators, how to let them go into teaching in recent teaching techniques. There is no routine techniques nowadays. You have to understand the standards or the alpha generation that we are doing right now, okay? And we are teaching a certain characteristics of generation. First of all, we have to know what their characteristics to deal with them, because this generation is completely different than the previous one.
Yes.
All right? And using the traditional way of teaching, that will not go into any objective at the end. If you see, for example, that I'm dealing, as you know, in UAE international schools,
yes,
and even governmental one. And when we do a consultation to them, actually there is a standard, all right? And even in the higher standards of schools, they still need professional development all the time, okay? There's supposed to be consistency. If it is consensus to have something that really all the time sustain to the professional development, you will not gain your goal. So I'm talking now about basics, and even if you got to the highest level, you need also to sustain the level that you got in, okay?
Yes.
So dealing with the educators, all right, and let them have professional development, sustained professional development all the time, keeping update them with the recent teaching techniques, that will make the plan easier and follow the standards easily. In the same time, students will have, they can discover their own skills, because at the end, we need the students, when they grad from K to 12, they know where to go. And that's the main challenge from any students, by the way. They don't know where the faculty they can join. So if you can, the students or the educators, know exactly how to discover that skill early, it will save a lot of time and a lot of effort when the students get a hassle to choose his own university at the end.
Yes, and also, Doctor, you mentioned the importance of spending and the importance of investing in the educational process for the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Higher Education. How far have we come? The progress that we have had over the past 10 years in terms of more and more spending in the fields of healthcare, as we have seen, and in the fields of education as well. Is it enough, or do we need more?
All right, so I'm not going to talk about the past, okay, because past is past.
Yes.
What I'm going to talk right now is something that it's really on the ground. What we can see on the ground right now, if we can invest on human beings or invest on education
yes,
level, this will save a lot of having a generation that help the leaders later on, because this generation will be our leaders later on, okay? So we have to take care of their brain. We have to take care of their skills. We have to let them know what exactly how to discover themselves before they're gonna have a level of they are being in the middle of the way and they don't know what's going on. So investment in education, it is the best way for any development country in the whole world. Education and health as well, they are going in a line together. And definitely education at the end is a health at the end, okay? Because at the end, health coming from education. So everything as a core of education investment will definitely shown in the level of industrial field of any country. So if we are really investing in education well, and we know exactly what to do in a standardization globally, we'll have something that really outcomes easily. And we couldn't imagine that our generation, especially the Egyptians, young people, they are really clever and they got the things easily. So we will not have a long effort. Even educators, they are really well qualified, but they need the guideline, okay? So we need to have to get them the guideline to let them discover the students' skills early as much as we can.
Yes, Doctor, one main challenge that we have had and we will be looking forward to in the future as well are the measures that need to be implemented in order to be aligning the educational process with the process of higher education, with the job market, with the societal needs as well. Do you think that we have had progress in this field, or do we need to be aligning more the job market with the education and the educational processes?
But listen, what I believe is everything is clear. I mean, we have the vision, we have the mission, we have the goals, we have the resources, but the only thing that we really need to do is just the good implementation for that.
Yes.
Okay? So the resources are there, but how we implement it honestly, okay, and non-corruptibly, all right, and we focus also with the main goal of the education sector, this will have a great impact and easily and quick as any country can start, and it is really, we have lots of success stories can show that. So again, the implementation, it is the only thing that we're supposed to do, but the plan is there. I'm not saying that we don't have a plan. We have a plan, we have resources, we have partnerships, we have capacity, all right? We have qualified people to do that. The only thing that we do is just to go into the guideline.
Yes, and we need better quality because we have many goals in terms of education. We have to have this access for the people, for the citizens in general, for the citizens in rural areas in Upper Egypt, but we need better quality. Do you think that this is the main goal, to be having better standards, higher quality of education and higher education, or the main goal nowadays is to be having education served to everyone in the country, 110 million Egyptians, of course, and families and students?
All right. Listen, let me tell you something which is summarize what we're supposed to do is just the integration between the industrial objective, all right, and the education sector. Okay, I cannot focus on, for example, the all international schools and the international curricula and some of the sectors that is already not be needed in the industrial field later on. Okay?
Yes.
So ministers should align the plan together. What is Egypt needs to be more enhanced, for example, in the industrial field. Okay? For example, technical education. I need to focus on technical education because this is the main focus that we have to really have to think about it more, and this will enhance a lot. It will give us like continuously being aligned together and no need for external export and import. All right. So technical education, like Germany is just focusing on it, and this is most European country. Why focusing technical education? Because in somehow, like what happened in pandemic, in COVID, for example, most of the countries understand that they are missing most of the industrial products, that they cannot do it by themselves. But if we focus about the technical education with the most different fields that Egypt needs, and we can focus and direct the education plan on this way, this will cover the industrial and economically will be much, much better.
Yes.
So the plan should be aligned together. The cooperation between ministers' plan, this is the only thing, and really I'm always asking for. Plans should be aligned in one target.
Yes,
right?
Dr. Jihan, Zahran, the innovation and the educational consultant. Thank you very much for being with us tonight on the Daily Debate.
Thank you.
Anytime. And this brings us to the end of the Daily Debate for tonight. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.